Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are doing two looks and talking about the Doodles by the Bunny collab with the brand Milan Rowe, their Poison Ivy palette. Milan Rowe just recently announced that they are going out of business. They are closing. I bought this palette back in June and I have yet to use it, so I thought we would use it, talk about it, and see what's good with the brand so that you can snag it if it is good before they go out of business and it's gone for good. So if that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before we get into the video, if you have not already, I would love it if you would consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe and I would love to have you back again on the channel. I'm also currently running a giveaway, so I will leave linked the video if you haven't seen it yet about all the details, but you do need to be subscribed to enter, so don't miss out on that. All right, without rambling any longer, let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so for this first look, I am gonna go ahead and go in with some of the more autumn colors. I'm gonna kind of avoid greens. I'm wearing this blue bodycon dress. I'm getting ready to go to the bridal shower for my maid of honor. She's also engaged right now. And again, here is the color story. And here is the color story, guys. If you're not familiar with this palette, it is a collaboration with Doodles by the Bunny. It's called the Poison Ivy palette. It's only $12 right now. They've also got some liquid lipsticks on the website for $5. I've never tried anything from the brand. The stuff is going to be available, I think, for the next month, it sounded like, according to their Instagram page. So we're going to test it out and see how it is, but for 12 bucks, I mean, come on. So I think I'm going to start here with Allergy Season, and then my plan is to deepen it up with Ivy. I might go a little burgundy. I haven't decided yet for a pop, and then I'm going to use either Ivy or Such an Itch, one of these two shimmers, on the lid. There is one pressed glitter in here, Vine, so I will avoid that. It's not considered eye safe, but that's the only one in here if that's something that concerns you like it does me. So I'm going to start with my Ace Beauté P1 brush here, and again, I'm going in with Allergy Season, which is kind of like a dusty gray, little purple, a shade I've definitely seen before, but part of what drew me to this color story personally. Nice pigmentation, nothing that's too crazy. Feels like something that is going to be a buildable formula, which I personally do like. I'm tapping the excess into the pan. You might be able to hear with my brush, but while there is excess I'm tapping off, there pretty much is with any shadow, I'm not noticing that it's a crazy amount of kick up in the pan. Like some mattes you put your brush in and you're like, whoa, it's so like dusty, powdery, messy, lightly pressed. This is not like that. So far so good. Next up, I'm going to take a Morphe M12 brush, and I'm going to take a bit of the Ivy, which is not the deepest blue. I think not today. Batman. Ooh, is that a black? It's hard to tell if it's a very deep navy blue or if it's a black. But I want to go more bluey because of my dress. So I'm going to go in with the Ivy, which is pretty deep. It's definitely not a deep navy. It's lighter than that. But it's like a muted blue, like a dusty muted blue. Not quite the same color as my dress. My dress is more honestly just a navy, but I thought I would use something that was in the blue family to deepen this look up to somewhat go with the dress. Something like that. That's pretty. A little smoky, but it's not crazy. This is a bridal shower that's at 1 p.m. Like, it's the middle of the day, right? We don't have to go super smoky, I feel like, for this. And I know that a lot of the other girls in the bridal party and the bride herself are more of like clean makeup, no makeup, whatever you want to call it, girlies. So I'm not trying to be too smoky for a luncheon in the afternoon, but you know, I gotta have a little bit. It's just in my nature, you know. And I'm gonna go back to the first brush I used just to make sure that everything is blended nicely together where those two meet. Now these look like, just swatching them, such an itch and ivy, like they have decent amount of reflect in them without a glitter primer. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it without a glitter primer. I'm not super familiar with this formula, so it's a little bit of taking a risk, right? Because maybe it would pop better with a glitter primer, but I don't want to risk that it's gonna crease or anything like that. And since I'm not familiar with it, I just, like I said, I don't want to run the risk. I'm going to an actual formal event, which is always the problem with like testing new brands and palettes and things, is you don't know what you're going to get and you kind of want something reliable to turn out. So all of the other shimmers other than these golds are kind of green. That's why I'm using what I'm using today. So maybe we'll use Jewelweed, Ivy League, Poison Ivy, Pistachio, some of those other greens in the second look. But for now, I'm going to go in with Such an Itch, which is the deeper of the two gold-looking shimmers. I'm going to place that up against that Ivy kind of muted blue shade that we put in the outer corner. That's looking nice together. It's not like super crazy reflect without the glitter primer, but honestly, I'm okay with that because, like I said, I'm trying not to be too over the top glitzy for this particular look and event that I'm going to. This gold too, I think, is a little bit of a green gold, which does go with the Poison Ivy theme. And then on the inner portion of the lid, I'm going to go in with Ivy, which is the brighter, more champagne gold. And this one in the pan does feel a little more squishy, almost like some of the putty formulas that I have seen and felt in other brands that I really do like. And that one is picking up on the brush actually better than that darker gold shimmer did. What do we think? I think now that I've got the shimmers down, I do want even more depth on the outside, so I'm going to go in with an M456 and add just a little bit more of the Ivy, that muted blue out here, and I'm running whatever is left on my brush just on the outer portion underneath. That's pretty, right? Like a golden blue, but smoky, right? Not like a vibrant blue. What do you guys think? Okay, and then I'm going to take my angled Storybook Cosmetics brush. If you've been here before, you know the drill. I'm going to do a shadow liner, and I am going to use Not Today Batman, and we'll see if that is like a really deep blue or if it's a black. I'm going to be really careful because my base is already done and I don't need anything. Not today, Batman. That's how I feel about the fallout. Not today, Batman. We can't deal with the fallout. And that is looking like a black, not a deep blue, FYI. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these shadow wings just real quick off camera so I can get really close to my mirror and focus, and I will be back with the finished first look. All right guys, and here is the completed look one. I finished my hair and everything. I went for a little volume and a little bit of curliness for today. Yeah, here is look one. What do we think? I don't know if you'll be able to see on camera, but there is an insane amount of I want to say glitter, but it's not a pressed glitter, but you know what I mean, sparkles, fallout, whatever from that shade underneath my eyes, like a crazy amount. I already tried to take my foundation brush and just kind of like wipe some of it, but it is not great. Luckily we're going to a restaurant that I think will be dimly lit, so it should be fine for today. But that alone may be a reason that I would recommend a glitter primer or wetting your brush. I'm going to try that in look number two. Not because it's not impactful enough on its own, but to keep it on the eye and not under the eye. Or, you know, of course, do your complexion second. I enjoy doing mine first personally. So yeah, guys, that's look number one, and I will be back very momentarily for look number two. All right, guys, so for look two, we are gonna play more with the greens, and I'm gonna start with Calamine here up in the corner, which is this light. It's like a muted green. It's not really mint with the undertone of it, but it is definitely a lighter shade that I think is gonna work for a transition shade. I do already have eyeshadow primer down, but I use eyeshadow primer every single day with every single eyeshadow I use. Doesn't matter the brand or formula. So just for you to have that in mind when you're seeing kind of the pigmentation and how these are performing. And it's definitely showing up. I note that because sometimes when shades are really light, whether that's a muted color like this or even pastel, because I'm so fair, sometimes things just kind of wipe away to nothing and you're like, oh, okay, it's not even showing up. Who is this made for, you know? So things are covering up my veins, which is good for me. I have a lot of veins that peek through here, so I usually like to put something in my transition area to cover those up, and that worked nicely. Next, I'm going to go in on the outer corner with Don't Be Rash, which it's kind of brown, kind of burgundy. It's hard to describe. It's definitely warm. This one has a lot of cake up in the pan, I will say, compared to the other mattes I have used so far. So we're definitely going to be careful there. Since I do have my complexion done, I do usually like to do my complexion first personally, but of course that's just your preference. You can do whatever you want in whatever order you want. That first brush was an Ace Beauté P1 if you're interested, and this one is a Morphe JS6. Just if you're ever wondering what brushes I'm using, you're new to makeup, maybe you want to add to your collection, whatever the case may be, I like to mention it for you. And I'm just making sure the two are nice and blended where they're meeting in the crease, but that right there, that's kind of fun. And it is, even on the eye, like a warm, slightly reddish undertoned brownie color. Like it still looks neutral enough, but it's got a little bit of a twist that I really enjoy. It's just like that blue, the Ivy I used in look 1. Like it's not too colorful, but it's just got enough of a difference that it makes it like a twist, in my opinion. It's like the perfect way if you want to dip your way into color but not do bolds, in my opinion. I'm just blending out the edges with that first brush, no additional product. For the shimmers, I am going to hopefully find my glitter primer. Where is that? I'm gonna hunt it down because in look 1, like the glitter that was under my eye, I mean, it was all the way down here, you guys. I say glitter, mica, you know, shimmer. It got worse and worse throughout the day yesterday when I did look 1. So I'm gonna try to find my glitter primer. Things have shifted on my desk. I cleaned recently, and you know, it's one of those things where you could actually find things better before you cleaned. Let me know in the comments if you're like that, because I definitely am. Like, it's chaos, but I know where it is, and now that I've moved stuff and cleaned, I can't find stuff. So let me find that and we'll move on to the shimmers. Okay, mission accomplished. It didn't take me as long as I thought to find it. This is the one I'm using right now from Ulta Beauty, the glitter primer. Just taking a flat brush. This one is from Unearthly Cosmetics, and I am just placing it everywhere. I plan on putting a shimmer, and we're going to use several different shimmer shades just because this is kind of like a, you know, 2 looks, give you an idea of the sort of things you could do with this palette kind of video. FYI, this Vine shade, I told you guys that's a pressed glitter. That's what it looks like. If you were wondering, if you are a person that you don't care if you use pressed glitter on the eye, that's what it looks like. It's very pretty, very, very pretty. That one is not considered eye safe. Normally I use things like this on the cheeks for highlighter. It might be too dark, but I'm gonna do like a little bit lightly here in this area, just with that little finger swatch, just to do maybe some sprinkles of color on the cheeks. This is like very dry, I will say. Like some glitters that are pressed, they are a bit more emollient, like they have some sort of binding agent that makes it a little bit creamier. This one is not doing that, and I know because it's like staying on my finger, it's not actually coming off on my face all that easily. So I would say if you do want to put this on your eyes, you'll need a glitter primer like what I did put on my eyelids for the shimmers, because it's kind of just sticking on my finger and not coming onto my face. My face is pretty matte right now since I powdered it, and I did use a mattifying primer today. But this pressed glitter has, I would say, a combination of gold and green for the most part, maybe a little yellow in it. But yeah, even if I were into pressed glitters, I would say that's not the highest quality pressed glitter I've seen, like as using it even as a face highlight. See, you can't really even see it, which I'm fine with. Okay, I'm gonna take my brush now, and we are going to go into Jewel Weed, which is this deepest, darkest shimmer over here. I'm using the same flat Cliona brush, and I'm just gonna place that on the outside and go up against, what was that called? Don't Be Rash, that kind of burgundy brownish color. This is gonna be an amazing fall palette, guys. It's actually the perfect time of year for this, with those like musty kind of muted dusty blues, the muted greens, a little bit of the brownish red for some like burgundy burnt fall leaves and tree vibes. I really think for 12 bucks, there is shipping you would have to pay, but I don't remember it being like anything crazy. I'm just going back with an M456, a little bit of a smaller brush now, to re-intensify that kind of reddy brown color, Don't Be Rash, so I don't lose that in the outer corner here now that I've put that shimmer on. These mattes are all performing very nicely, like nothing's patchy or giving me issues, anything like that. Ooh, I'm liking it. It's very foresty. And then on the inside, I'm gonna put Pistachio, this light one that's a shimmer. I don't know if you can tell, but there are definitely different shimmer formulas in here, like Such an Itch and Ivy, those two like kind of champagne and gold ones I use. They have a little bit of a different texture than the shimmers I'm using today, are a little smoother. Hopefully you can see there up close the difference in the texture. I mean, really, Ivy League and Ivy next to each other. I think you can even see there the difference in texture. So we do have some different shimmer formulas going on, but I don't think that's a bad thing. It's kind of nice to have different textures and options and variety in the palette. A lot of times that makes it more versatile. Oh yeah, and this, I mean, this is the namesake of the palette, you guys, is it not? It's called the Poison Ivy palette, and to me, they nailed the color story as far as the theming is concerned. And Poison Ivy, I don't know if any of you are DC fans, but Poison Ivy, like, you know, one of Batman's nemesis, a sleigh, right? Like, look at the packaging and stuff. So cool. If you're not following, I think I said it before, but if I haven't already, if you're not following Doodles by the Bunny on Instagram, you really should be. Such great color stories and ideas and things. Just really, really nice. I think she's working a lot more with Gourmand Girls now, so if that's a brand that's still in business, if you want to see more creative stuff by this artist, check that brand out, because I think Doodles by the Bunny has been working with them. I'm in collaboration on the Spooked and the Night Flower most recently. I don't have the Night Flower yet. I really want it. And I think, I know I used it in the first look, but I think I'm just gonna go in with Ivy because it kind of makes sense for an inner corner shade here. Yeah, that's definitely a different formula, using them back to back. I can tell that. Not a criticism, just an observation. And then Not Today Batman was definitely a black. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why was I debating if that was a deep brown or not, a deep blue or a black? Like, it's literally called Batman. Think about it. Batman is clearly a black. Come on now. But you know, the brain cells just weren't doing their thing yesterday, I guess. So I'm going to take Not Today Batman again on my Storybook Cosmetics angled liner brush and give myself a bit of a wing eyeshadow, do mascara, the rest of the look, etc. And then I will be back to show you the final look 2. All right, guys, and here is the completed look 2. I am feeling very fall. I don't know about you guys. I love it. I've still got my hair a little bit of curl from yesterday. I've got on my Star Wars shirt here. Just living my best life, getting ready for all of the Ahsoka episodes. Let me know if you're into the Star Wars series on Disney Plus in the comments. And yeah, I'm very happy with this look. I'm very happy overall with this palette, guys. 12 bucks. A shame that the brand is closing, you know, and we're not going to see more from them with this formula because it was really nice. But the whole point of the video is, you know, if you don't mind that they're going out of business and everything and you just want something that's going to be nice quality to add to your collection for an affordable price, now's your time. Take advantage of it. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye!